At the end of Joshua chapter 8, the Israelites are listening to the reading of God's laws. Two groups of people reading the blessings and the curses. They're standing on the peaks of two separate mountains that are right across from one another, and all the Israelites are in the valley. And it was like a natural amphitheater. They didn't need a PA system. They didn't need microphones. They didn't need to play the telephone game of, well, what did the guy at the top of the mountain say, and pass it all along. They would shout from the top of the mountain, and the sound would carry down the mountain. And then, as they were down in the mountain, it would echo. And so create this neat, well, they would just be entirely audibly surrounded by God's word, which I think is a pretty cool picture of really what's always happening in our lives with God. That we are always literally surrounded by God. A God who loves us, a God who cares for us. Psalm 139 is one of my favorite places in the Bible where it talks about that. Where it says, if I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, if I make my bed in the depths, if I go up to the heavens, wherever I go, God's going to be there. God will be wherever I go. And didn't Jesus during his ministry show us that he's willing to go wherever we happen to go in life? He was willing to go to a wedding where his first miracle took place. Not everybody likes weddings, but Jesus was willing to go to the wedding. Jesus was willing to go and by the bedside of those who had died. He was willing to stand outside the grave. He was willing to weep alongside of us. He was willing to go out and be in the same boat as his disciples when the storms were raging all around them. He was willing to be in a garden where he knew he was going to be arrested. He was willing to be taken away to a place where he knew he was going to be lied about and beaten. He was willing to go to a cross. He was willing, even long before that, to put on human flesh that he knew was vulnerable to getting pierced and broken. He was willing to go through hell itself just to keep one promise that wherever you go, the God who loves you goes with us. Wherever you are today, whatever's going on, whether it's a path you have willingly gone down or it's a path that something else has reluctantly led you, God surrounds you. God is with you. And he always will be. To love you. Rest well tonight, my friends.